Rob Olver on the line from Camp Bastion. Well, in Helmand province, a series of NATO-backed radio stations have been set up, and one of the jobs they were doing was to encourage voter turnout this weekend.
Despite the fact the election's being called off, the stations have a vital part to play in helping Afghans overcome the fear factor. Rob's been to see one in action.
To its Afghan listeners in the Helmand town of Gereshk, this is Radio Gereshk. Not that it's like many local stations in Britain. Some call it radio in a box because it broadcasts from an ISO container. The studio is also inside an international military base, and the station's main presenter is a potential Taliban target. That's why we can't show his face.
We have very good programs in here about education, health programs, and some musics, and also we have decided to have a agriculture program for next time for the farmers.
Radio Gereshk is backed by ISAF, the NATO-led International Security Assistance Force. The man in charge is a Danish psychological operations officer. His aim, he says, is an Afghan radio station that extols the BBC's values of truth, objectivity and fairness.
Mainly because of the locals we have working on the radio station. They have a very good understanding of what kind of news people is actually looking for, and even if it's not always on the best side for ISAF, but we are still bringing this kind of news because it has. We have to think about the radio in the future will have to be handed over to the locals, and therefore they will have to be used to get news, both good and bad news.
Nobody knows for sure exactly how many listeners the station has, but if the latest survey is anything to go by, it could be reaching as many as 2/3 of its potential audience. Radio Gereshk's music is said to be drawing listeners, but the most popular programme seems to be the phone-in, with more than 20 calls an hour.
They're asking for music, and they're just sending the greetings to their friends, families around the coverage area of Radio Gereshk. So after that they can just call us and ask for the problems about health problem and agriculture problems.
The Taliban have no radio station of their own here, but their reported ability to close down Gereshk's mobile phone network can make it difficult for listeners to call in. But so far, nobody has stopped a campaign to hand out free radios to local people. That can only be good news for Radio Gereshk's listening figures. Rob Olver, BFBS reports, southern Afghanistan.